Hi, and welcome to Tim and Joel's Weekly Draw, and it's St. Vengeance Day. Joel, are you excited? Do you have that special someone you'd like to enact vengeance on?
Every day is a day for vengeance. And
True.
every day is an opportunity for you to come and follow us over at youtube.com/TimandJoelPod. We're not just here on PW Unlimited, we're also over there every single Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Come and join the fun. We're always around in the chat. We're always talking about wrestling. So let's get to that. And with that in mind, Tim, like you said, it's Vengeance Day. Are you excited for Vengeance Day?
I am pretty excited for Vengeance Day. I do just love TakeOver. There's only 5 matches, which feels a little bit light. I know most of them are like that, but yeah, it's going to be good. I'm pretty stoked for what they're going to put up tonight.
Well, with 5 matches on the card, we do have a lot to talk about. So let's start with the Women's Dusty Cup, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. We have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Normally, at this point, I would break down who's been in how many TakeOver appearances, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, they're all singles competitors, so I'm not going to do it for this match. We'll do it for all the other ones, though. Tim, do you have an idea of who should be winning this match for the first ever Women's Dusty Cup?
Ooh, you know what? It is a tough call. There are good arguments for either team to win. I think Raquel's on the upward trajectory, so it would make sense to have Dakota and Raquel go over. But do we want them as a tag team is the question, because I think Raquel's destined for singles competition. We can talk more about that later on. I would go with Shotzi and Ember, because I think that right now they're finding a hard time placing them, I think, in the women's division, but they do want them on TV week after week. So if they put them into a tag team situation, there's their spot for the next little while, right? And they make a good team. They both howl.
That's true. They're both very much into the howling at the moon and barking at the moon. Now, one thing that I didn't say at the top of this was that the winners of the Women's Dusty Classic do receive an opportunity at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, currently held by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, or Shania Payne, as we like to call them. Now, with that in mind, WWE loves to do a face versus heel dynamic. So there's a reason to have Shotzi and Ember go over if you're about to have Jax and Baszler defend their titles against those two. However, in a different world, we know that up on Raw, we've got Lana and Naomi with a opportunity at those women's tag titles. So can I throw you a little curveball, my friend?
Okay, yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
The winners of the match are Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Meanwhile, up on Raw, or let's say Elimination Chamber the next Sunday, or Fastlane next month, whatever it is, Lana and Naomi cash in their opportunity to take on Jackson Baszler. They win the tag team championships, and then Kai and Gonzalez decimate Lana and Naomi to win the women's tag team championships. And that way, everybody wins. By which I mean Lana wins a tag team championship, like I've been waiting for, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez become dominant women's tag team champions. Your thoughts, my friend?
I mean, that's a long journey. It's possible. I'll give you that. That if Raquel and Dakota win tonight, that very well may be where things are going. But I don't know. I'm still saying Shotzi and Ember, just because I think what will also happen is they have to trust them to be on the main programs periodically a bit more. And I think right now WWE is more confident putting Shotzi and Ember on the main programs than they are Raquel and Dakota.
I guess we're going to see, because I think you and I are a little split on the decision for tonight.
A little bit.
Meanwhile, we have the Men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. The winners will receive not only Dusty Classic Trophy, but also a future title shot against NXT Tag Team Champions Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Did you know that they were still the tag team champions? Because I haven't seen them in a while.
I briefly forgot, but that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. They're still around, floating in Pete Dunne's orbit, so...
Well, one of those teams facing Lorcan and Burch will be either MSK, that's Wesley and Nash Carter, or the grizzled young veterans, that was me trying to clear a throat ball, James Drake and Zach Gibson. Now, for MSK, this is their first takeover, which comes as a shock to nobody. And for grizzled young veterans, this is their first American takeover appearance, but it's their 4th takeover match ever. So with this in mind, and the way that the tag team bracket has been filled, do you have a winner in mind, or are you still split on the decision?
No, with this one, I think we've been saying it from the start that grizzled young vets are gonna take it in the end, and that's largely just because MSK have just been introduced. That would be a big story they could deliver, is to have MSK come in and win everything right off the bat. But I see it going to grizzled young vets. MSK has made their mark by, having incredible matches week after week through this competition. They'll be back in the race soon enough. It's just right now, I think it's going to go to grizzled young vets because they were being built up as this tour de force the moment they returned to NXT US. So.
Now we're going to go back to what I was just saying about heel and face dynamics, good guys and bad guys. Grizzled Young Veterans did work a heel style versus Ciampa and Thatcher at the last NXT. MSK very clearly are at least presumably good guys, considering, I mean, their promos kind of teeter on cocky weirdos. But the point being, with Birch and Lorcan very solidly bad guys, would you want to do Grizzled Young Veterans versus solid bad guys, Lorcan and Birch? Or do you want to have MSK, who are high flyers, taking on these two guys who are clearly the most badass fighter types in the world right now in NXT?
Yeah.
Do you want that match more, or do you want the two brawlers going at it?
I mean, I do want that match more. I want MSK to win. And it's possible. They're up there. They're over immediately because, again, they're just putting on these great matches. I think it would be a great show to see them take on Oni and Danny. But, I don't know. I'm still going with Grizzled Young Vets winning, and I can see Oni and Danny losing the titles at some point. And then, Grizzled Young Vets get their shot.
All right. I think the thing is, leading into this whole tournament, it's been the Grizzled Young Veterans show to lose, and they went to the finals last time and lost. I think this is their time to win it, flat out. So I agree with you. Grizzled Young Veterans for the win. Let's move on, shall we?
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead,
who they end up facing? You know who beats Oni and Danny?
MSK.
Breezango.
Even better.
I haven't seen them in a few weeks, so give them that one match title reign again.
Every single time you need to reset the tag division, you have Breezango come in and win. Suddenly they're 16-time NXT Tag Team Champions.
Powerhouse.
All right. Let's move on. A triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. We have the champion Io Shirai defending against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Let's go through it. Toni Storm, this is her second NXT Women's title opportunity. Her first one was in 2018, taking on Shayna Baszler at the NXT UK Championship tournament, and then the second one was against Rhea Ripley at Worlds Collide. So in other words, this is Toni Storm's first takeover title shot, and for Mercedes Martinez, this is her first takeover match. And meanwhile, Io Shirai's having her sixth title defense since winning the championship in your house. So with all of these varying levels of experience on the table, considering Martinez has been around the world of wrestling for almost 20 years and Toni Storm has been around for much less time and Io Shirai has been around in the middle of that, do you have a favorite going into this match? Do you have an expectation coming into it, Tim?
This might be the standout match of the night, is what I'm kind of feeling. I'd say Io retains, just because putting it on Toni or Mercedes right now seems a bit odd. I see a lot of different competitors and good matches for Io, whereas the options are more limited if you put it to Mercedes or Toni. So I'm going to say Io retains tonight. The triple threat matches can be kind of a wonky situation, but it is a good opportunity for them to set up future storylines. So
I'm in agreement. I think Io Shirai does retain. As to who she pins, I think she'll pin Mercedes Martinez.
You think?
Yeah. Martinez hasn't been as strongly positioned.
That's true.
Because she hasn't exactly had that. She's had the show out matches leading into this, but nothing's really been set yet. Or maybe, listen, could you have Shirai pin Toni Storm and let that kind of go by the wayside? Absolutely. But I just see Shirai pinning Martinez. And then meanwhile, going back to that Women's Dusty Cup Classic final, if Shotzi and Ember do end up winning, then Raquel's going to go up and take on Io at the next TakeOver, presumably.
Exactly. Yeah, and they've got more, they've just got more in the in the past that they can use and put into a package, like a video package for Io versus Raquel, I think. So best to lean on that right now.
All right. Well, I think we're in agreement on that. Let's move on to the NXT North American Championship match, a match that almost didn't happen between Kushida and Johnny Gargano. For Gargano, this is his second NXT North American title defense in this reign, which began at TakeOver War Games. And for Kushida, this is his second TakeOver match ever. But let's face it, the first one didn't count.
Yeah. They're really over on Kushida right now. I'm really over on Kushida right now. He's doing a tremendous job with this like little bit of a revamp. Like, I think he's got a pretty strong run ahead of him.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I say Kushida takes it tonight. Johnny doesn't need it. Doesn't need the belt.
Johnny Takeover is also the worst TakeOver competitor imaginable. While he's been on every single one of those takeovers, his record is in the tank.
Yeah, so. It's not great. He's just so giving, I feel. Like, you know, he's ready to put everyone over.
He and his wife, Candice LeRae, took over the NXT social media, specifically the Instagram, and answered Valentine's Day questions. And by the way, they were very funny.
Not surprised.
Go ahead, find those. They're on the internet everywhere because someone always saves Instagram stories to use for later. That's just what we do in the world of internet sleuthing. So I think Kushida's going to win. At the same time, Gargano could use the win in terms of his defenses and maybe making him a little bit stronger because he could challenge for the NXT Championship down the line. I don't know. Let's say they pull it on Kushida. Let's say they do it. I don't know who Kushida faces next, though.
No, me neither. I have no idea. Leon Ruff. Yes, I do.
I mean, I
heel turn. Leon heel turn. Let's get him
they did a feature. They did a feature on Leon Ruff, and they were talking about his days of making $5 for a wrestling match. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah, he's sick and tired of not getting his shot.
Well, someone else who's sick and tired of not getting his shot was Pete Dunne. So the NXT Championship match will be Pete Dunne taking on the champion Finn Balor. For Finn Balor, it is his third NXT Championship defense. And put up the sirens and the buzzers because it's the first time ever alert.
Oh, yeah? Is that a thing?
These two have ever had a match together, ever. So, get excited for that.
Yeah, as Wade was saying, Europe has been calling for this for years and years. But yeah, now we get to see it. I mean, we could have seen it sooner if Pete had just won his match against Kyle, but he got it anyway.
Everyone always gets what they want. That's what fun NXT is all about.
Yeah.
Do you have any prediction for this match, and does it involve anyone eating true a straw at the end of the match?
I mean, I hope not. It'd be nice to see some people stay on TV for a consistent while. I don't know, actually. This one, again, you want to keep Finn strong. I think Finn versus Edge is a better matchup if they do decide to keep teasing that. If Pete Dunne wins, Edge is not going for the NXT Championship. I don't know. It's a coin toss. I'm going to say Finn retains.
Okay. I'm going to say Finn retains as well. I also put out on Twitter earlier this morning that I'm looking for your hot takes. Scorching hot. And while we didn't get as many as I wanted for this week, by the way, we'll do it next week for Elimination Chamber, so get them to me now.
Yes.
I'll read to you my 2 hot takes. Shall we?
Let's.
The first one comes from our friend Alex Thomas, and he says that Walter sends Balor a message as the credits hit that he's coming for the NXT Championship. Now, I will do Alex one better, and I think that Walter will show up at the end of TakeOver and take out Pete in the flesh, because Imperium has been in the house for a while.
Yeah,
we saw Alexander Wolf show up. They're teasing it. I think Walter's summer vacation begins now. It begins tonight, and it goes till WrestleMania.
That sounds excellent. I would love that to be the case. Walter versus Finn.
And I just, again, start the hashtag Walter Summer Vacation.
Okay, it's a bit long.
Yeah, well, at Impact last night, they were saying, thank you, Tommy, thank you, Impact, thank you, Wrestling, thank you, Matt Striker, thank you, Wrestling, thank you, da-da-da. So, you know what? Walter's summer vacation is fine. We can do
Okay,
it.
cool. There's an apostrophe S in there. That's awful.
Well, it's not the first time.
Yeah.
Our other hot take, scorching hot, was from Dylan Tracy, who says Cameron Grimes will buy the NXT Championship match immediately following Balor versus Dunn and win the title straight to the moon. I love that.
I like that even more.
That is my favorite take. I think that is the one that I will go with. Never mind. Anything I said about Walter's summer vacation, forget it. We're
Throw it
going
in
to
the
the moon
trash.
instead. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are our two hot takes. I agree. Finn Balor will absolutely win this match, but it will be a banger of a match. And I think it'll be a good card tonight. Are you looking forward to any particular match on the card, Tim?
Yeah, the women's triple threat, I think, is going to stand out. And MSK could... I'm nervous that they're going to just explode. But that match could be very, very good because they have a lot to prove, I feel like. So,
well, if you're watching this, you can let us know in the comments of this video what your match that you're most looking forward to, your favorite match that you're looking forward to. Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, you can leave a like on this video. And you can follow us at youtube.com/TimandJoelPod. Again, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We go live with our show, Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring, where we talk about the week in wrestling. Meanwhile, Tim, where can the kids find you on the internet?
kids can find me at Tim Stone, PTIMBSTONEP on Twitter.
And y'all can find me at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl. And finally, friends, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, enjoy your wrestling and enjoy TakeOver tonight. We'll see you next week for Elimination Chamber predictions.